Hello and welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. You're watching The Big Picture with me, Frank Razan Pereira. Former Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren, the face of the opposition JMM-RJD Congress alliance in the state, has thanked the people for giving them a mandate in the ongoing assembly elections. The JMM Congress combined is trending well above the majority mark of 41 in the 81-member House and is set to unseat the ruling BJP in a shock result. Soren, who has been projected as the chief ministerial candidate of the alliance, said that the partners would meet soon to strategize the future course of action. Chief Minister Raghubar Das has given his resignation to the governor Draupadi Murmu, and the governor has asked him to continue till the next government is formed. In a Twitter message after conceding defeat, Das said that his party respects the verdict of the people. Since its formation in 2000, Jharkhand has had 9 governments and 3 stints of president's rule. On this edition of The Big Picture, we will analyze the result of the Jharkhand Assembly elections. Joining me on the program today are Sunil Chaudhary, political analyst, Alok Verma, founder and editor-in-chief, news.com, and Rajveer Sharma, political commentator. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on this edition of The Big Picture. Professor Sharma, let's begin the program with you. Let's talk about some of the key takeaways as far as today's results are concerned. What were the big 3 takeaways for you from today's results?
If I look at the kind of trends which are there on the screens of various channels, it shows 3 things. One, that the combined kind of a coalition, pre-election coalition of JM and Congress for the first time has been thrown into a clear majority, and this is one. And number 2, the kind of the seats which the BJP has got on its own, I think it also sends a message, and that is that in some states, go alone politics may not work. Number 3 message of this election, if I can understand it correctly, is that the attempt by the BJP to make politics casteless has not really succeeded that much, because if we look at the results that have come, in some states where the experiment was made to break the dominant caste system in politics, that has in fact come again as a consolidation of those castes. For example, in Haryana, there was a consolidation of one particular caste, though the BJP did try to break that politics of caste in Haryana. Similarly, in Jharkhand also, the BJP did try to break the caste politics and brought a non-tribal person as a chief minister. In Maharashtra also, I think the experiment did not work. I don't say that it failed, but it did not work the way it was expected to work. So this is how I look at the trends in Jharkhand.
Okay. Alok Verma, let me bring you into the picture then. So, Professor Sharma, they're suggesting that at some level, probably in some states, the BJP might have to think about resorting to social engineering, because clearly isolating some of the major castes or some of the major sections in certain states has not really worked for the BJP, is what he's suggesting.
I would say that BJP tried to re-engineer the social engineering, and in certain ways it did not click this time. However, last 5 years when they went for elections in Haryana, they did manage to bring in a non-Jat chief minister who completed his 5-year term. And the second election which they fought just this year, a few months back, BJP continued to believe in the same model, and to some extent it did not really fructify to the extent which BJP wanted it to. The same model they tried to perfect in Jharkhand, and they did not really succeed in I would say convincingly. But the results which have thrown in Jharkhand clearly have proved that the alliance politics cannot be forgotten by BJP. The BJP, which had very good alliance partners earlier in the form of whether it was TDP or Shiv Sena, and these are the two major allies of Bharatiya Janata Party. TDP broke away, almost a year back, and Shiv Sena also, broke away in recently. So Bharatiya Janata Party will have to rethink so far as the alliance strategy is concerned. Going forward, I think Bharatiya Janata Party will have to contemplate, will have to think that alliance is going to be the very significant factor in winning elections.
Okay, all right. Sunil Chaudhary, caste trumps good governance or anything else when it comes especially to assembly elections? Would you say that that statement holds true after looking at the Jharkhand results?
I would say that this is not the political defeat of BJP. I would still prefer to call it the electoral victory of JMM, Congress and RJD alliance. I would focus on three important factors which would basically, which has actually tried to streamline the electoral results in terms of success of a party and defeat of the party. It is basically the failure of national issues getting converged with local issues, which were expected, anticipated by BJP and some other political parties. For instance, you can see in this Jharkhand elections, all this talking about Article 370, Ram movement and others, they didn't basically click for the voters, because voters were focusing more on the local issues, which I think both Congress and JMM were able to exploit and able to put forward for the voters. They themselves got it connected with them. Secondly, I would say it's, if not anti-incumbency, I would say that resentment against both the state leadership as well as the state leaders, which actually backfired. So, as Professor Sharma has rightly stated, bringing non-tribal experiment at the state level here, besides in Maharashtra and Haryana, strengthened the new kind of politics in terms of governance and development. It continued but didn't sustain as far as results are concerned. So it was a resentment against both state leadership and the state leaders, specifically in terms of some important state leaders who actually lost the elections. Thirdly, I would say that there seems to be a failure in terms of synchronizing the central and the state organizational structures in Jharkhand. So I think when you see all these things getting imposition from above, may not have wide acceptance with the party level, which is working from below. So this kind of non-synchronization might have affected the BJP's getting lesser number of seats in Jharkhand elections.
Professor Sharma, would you say that at some level, the alliance led by the JMM could strike a chord with the voter on the ground, could feel the pulse, could feel the beat of the people on the ground?
Yeah, I broadly agree with what Professor Sunil Chaudhary is saying, but in addition to what he has said, I think 2-3 things still also has to be kept in mind when we analyze these elections. One, that the go it alone, as I said earlier, may have to be rethink, may have to be given a rethink. Particularly, if you look at the percentage of votes, though it has not yet come very clearly, but if you combine the votes of BJP and all Jharkhand Students Union, that is still higher than the JMM and Congress percentage of votes. Number two, I think even besides that, there was some kind of a consolidation of the voters on religious lines, if I can say so. Particularly in view of the CEA and the NRC, the kind of campaign that was launched by the opposition, howsoever wrong or howsoever misinformation there was, but that misinformation and disinformation did go to the voter, and many voters might have been impacted by that kind of an agitation without really being able to differentiate between what the opposition is saying and what is the truth on the ground. Only recently the Prime Minister was able to clear some air on these issues, but before that the BJP was not really able to communicate to the voter that whatever opposition is conveying to them is wrong and is false. So that also might have worked. And at the same time, the land acquisition bill, which was there in Paladi movement that was started in Jharkhand, that also could have worked against the BJP. And besides that, I think what is coming out very clearly, that Indian voter is getting mature and mature every day passing by, and that maturity is reflected in differentiating between local and national. That is why, despite the kind of the appeals that were made in Jharkhand elections, the people were very clear in their mind that so far as local is concerned, it shall be decided at local level, and whenever it comes to national level, it would be decided keeping in mind the national interest as a whole, not of the state alone. So as Mr. Alok Verma and my friend here Sunil Chaudhary said, that at times it is strategically required that we must focus on what the people want to hear us, as to what exactly the state leadership is saying about solving their own local problems. Or you can bring in national issues, there's no bar on that, but merely focusing on national issues and pushing the local issues is not working. And lastly, I would say that there's nothing unusual in what has come out in Jharkhand. And why I am saying that there's nothing unusual, because there has been a pattern. And the pattern is that the states normally, barring some states, do change the government every 5 years.
Right.
Except in Gujarat and in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, where the BJP was able to rule for more than 15 years or so, I don't find in the recent history where the people have voted the same government more than once. So whether it was Rajasthan or it was any other state, in Rajasthan also the government is changed every 5 years.
Sure.
So that is what the pattern which I find. So it is nothing unusual, but at the same time, the BJP must think as to how to strategically, and as Mr. Verma was saying, that re-engineering attempted by the BJP, though it was good in the national interest, that politics must be free from caste, creed, religion. They must go by development, they must go by performance of the government rather than by these parochial kind of considerations.
Sure.
But it depends on dose and time.
Okay. All right. So let's look at the alliance now, the JMM-led alliance, which has done well in this particular election in Jharkhand. So Alok Verma, as far as the alliance is concerned, I heard leaders speaking on other channels earlier in the day. They are speaking about a common minimum program to come up with something like that to ensure that the government runs successfully in the days and years to come. But how important, or how much do you see the flock really staying together in the days ahead?
So JMM and Congress, they have come together, and if you really see, they are way above the the minimum mark. So they are about 46, 47 seats now. So I don't think there are going to be any problem so far the stability of the government is concerned. Now coming together in terms of common minimum program, I think one has to really watch. Once the stability of the government is going to be there, then there is no threat so far as the government stability is concerned. So this is now Hemant Soren has come back as a chief minister. He had been a chief minister, then earlier deputy chief minister, now chief minister earlier, then again he's going to become chief minister. So by and large, it will be a great challenge for the new government, JMM-led or JMM Congress-led government. They will have to really meet the aspirations of people, because leveling allegations at the time of elections is a very common phenomena. When it comes to delivery, the government will have to really measure up to the expectations of people. There are lots of fear which were in the minds of voters of Jharkhand probably will have to be now allayed by the JMM-led government. And since the chief minister is going to be a tribal chief minister, I am sure that he has to really meet the aspirations of large tribal population of that state. And what were the major allegations? The major allegations were there was no employment, there was no industry, There was some fear in terms of the title holding, some of the land acquisition bills, and there was a fear in the minds of tribal that their lands will be taken away. But if there is any industrialization is to take place in any state, the land acquisition will play a very important, significant role in developing of that state. So these were the issues which the new government will have to grapple, because in the new economy you will have to bring in more industry, you'll have to create more employment, and the new government will have to work in very close coordination with the central government. A lot of money will will flow through the central government. So I think in days to come there will be challenges. One will have to really wait and watch what kind of welfare programs the new government is going to really bring in. But the politics is always for popularity, and there would be lots of decisions the new government is going to take, which is really going to serve the real, not really the needs of the people immediately, but certain popular decisions which actually make people believe that the government is going to work for the welfare of people.
Right. Okay. All right, Sunil Chaudhary. Since we're talking about alliances were brought up earlier as well. Professor Sharma was talking about how probably the BJP missed out on having a good ally in the state of Jharkhand. But if you look at the alliance itself of the RJD, the JMM and the Congress playing second fiddle, they're happy to play second fiddle, already deciding that Hemant Soren will be their chief ministerial candidate. Is this the new normal for the Congress going forward?
I think it's one thing, it's a vote for a change in Jharkhand. When I say this vote for a change, it means that now the JMM Congress RJD alliance, this alliance has come out as a very solid, consolidated group before the electors, and BJP failed to basically rope in the support from AJSU and Jharkhand Vikas Morcha. I think if these three parties could have come together, then there could have been very tough competition, and the chances for both these alliances getting very neck-to-neck fight there in Jharkhand could not have been ruled out completely. But the failure to forge an alliance with these two regional parties, because people are still thinking state to be given to these regional power holders, and JMM basically has actually emerged as a real power player, and people actually had full trust and faith in Hemant Soren. So I would again say that it's a victory of Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, and there seems to be resurgence of a regional identity led by regional political party, whether it is Maharashtra in terms of Shiv Sena in NCP, or Haryana coming out of JJP, and here in Jharkhand. So there is no harm in regional political parties taking important roles, specifically in the state assembly elections, though their role in national politics has basically started coming down. So now these regional political parties coming back to the position of ascendancy in electoral politics in these states, important challenge for them is how to translate growth into development, governance into good governance, and again from populism to governance and good governance, because all these promises which these regional political parties have made, whether in terms of increasing employment, youth unemployment assurance, and many other populist schemes, whether they will be able to translate those promises into realities would be a very difficult challenge for these political parties, specifically JMM and Congress, to translate them into realities when they actually come at the formation of government.
And another challenge would be, in fact, the greatest challenge to this coalition would be that in the past also these parties went out of power because of the high level of the corruption, and whether they will be able to really curb that corruption which they have been charging others so far. And whether it was Shibu Soren or it was Hemant Soren, they were charged of corrupt practices. And the kind of meeting ground, though there could be some kind of the necessity of the crisis which might have brought them together, but how long they will remain together is a matter to be seen for the future. And I believe that on matters which they have been criticizing the Raghubar Das government, particularly the kind of anti-conversion bill and the land acquisition bill, whether they will be able to really understand the kind of consequences of such criticism, because as Mr. Verma was saying that you need the acquisition of land. I agree with him that national development cannot be brought on the head of a person.
Right.
You have to bring you have to purchase the land, but at the same time you have to convince people before you take a decision. You know, it is always good to remove certain fears from the mind of those from whom you are acquiring land and so on. So this is something the future will tell as to how this minimum program, if it is brought with some kind of a good intention. There's a lot of a difference between populism, welfareism and development.
Right, right. Okay. Looking at the bigger picture now and looking ahead, looking at the elections to come later next year as well as going into 2022, Alok Verma, how big a setback is this loss in Jharkhand for the BJP, considering that it lost the three Hindi heartland states of Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, and then going on to lose Maharashtra as well?
It amazes me that the Bharatiya Janata Party top leadership, which used to criticize the high command culture of the Congress Party, is somewhere, is basically trying to become itself a high command structure party. Very less and less voice at the local level, at the state level. All the powers are at the very central level. I think Mr. Amit Shah, who is the president of the Bharatiya Janata Party and also the Home Minister of the country, will have to really think that does he have enough time to really devote to the party, and would it not be the right time for Bharatiya Janata Party to rethink that is it really converting itself into a high command culture party, which they used to accuse the Congress Party of? Because most of the, if you see that from 2017 and in less than 2 years, Bharatiya Janata Party has lost 7 states and it lost its vote share almost from 70% to almost now it is reduced to 47 or 50%. If I really look at it, the broader picture. So there is a very great decline as far as the popularity of the party is concerned, or converting votes into into forming a government is concerned, and you have lost 7 big states. Now the question which is being asked that what is going to happen in future if probably Bharatiya Janata Party does not come back to think that the alliance or alliance partners are very important to the growth of the Bharatiya Janata Party, or is a very important in formation of the governments in various states. There will be a further decline, because elections are going to be held next year in Bihar. Delhi is already very weakening for the Bharatiya Janata Party, the way it looks like.
Right.
So, and with the resurgence of JMM and Congress and RJD alliance in Jharkhand will significantly impact the elections of Bihar too.
Okay.
So the way I look at it, I think the high command culture, which really is coming very predominantly in the Bharatiya Janata Party, will have to be relooked at.
Okay, all right. I'm just coming to you, Professor Sharma. But Professor Sunil Chaudhary, can we expect some kind of a spillover effect? Something that Alok Verma was pointing out there in the elections in Bihar, because let's not forget on the border, in the bordering seats as well, the BJP hasn't done too well.
So I still believe that no success is final and no failure is fatal. The elections, like the victory and defeat, are going to be accepted by political parties gracefully. I would say that the new picture which is coming up is that how these regional parties are emerging as a real catalyst of change in governance and development in those respective states where elections have just taken place. That's good for federal politics, and I would say it's really good for federal democracy in India, where regional parties are actually championing the cause of the regional issues in the states, and national parties like BJP and Congress and others are dominating the national politics with a focus on actual issues of governance and development, which have got wider acceptance all across India. From that perspective, I think there's nothing to worry about it. But yes, it is quite when Alokji is saying that there seems to be a synchronization between the central leadership in terms of organizational structures and the state leadership or state organizational structures. BJP is still missing out that kind of this connect between the two, because you see, like the common voter and common party cadre who's working at the grassroots level doesn't expect anything from above all the time.
Right.
So imposition from above may not have wide acceptance from below. So I think that above and below both need to converge together. And as far as Delhi is concerned, other states like with the West Bengal or states like Bihar, there's a good introspection for BJP, and I'm sure that BJP will go ahead and will bring about many changes in terms of social engineering or even political engineering, how to respond to new challenges in these states where elections are to be held next year.
Sure, certainly. And Professor Sharma, close the show for us with your concluding remarks.
You know, in fact, what I was saying is that at times, politics is all about perception too. And if the public perception somewhere is disturbed, it may cause the party A or party B, negatively. For example, BJP will have to restore its image of party with a difference. And party with a difference, in fact, implies that turncoats at the nick of the time, in the just on the eve of elections, they are being admitted by the party from other political parties, and many of them lost elections. Not that they were so popular, and that is why party might have gained. And many of them were really not of very high kind of a public image. So therefore, that also the party must think that whether something has gone wrong somewhere, and party with a difference, in fact, party has to be and has to remain a party with a difference.
Right. Okay. All right. On that note, then we'll call it a wrap on this edition of The Big Picture. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on the program and putting things into perspective for us. That's it from me. See you again next time.